All right, are we on? Hello. We've saved the best for last, I can guarantee you. Last session, day 2 of a 2-day conference, so we've got to be on our game. We guarantee you we will. My name's Justin Barlow. I'm part of the sales team, so you have to listen to the sales guy at the end, which is great. But I'm also a carpenter myself, a tradesperson, something I'm very proud of. And this is a subject really dear to me. You've heard our CEO talk about his ambition to grow your profit margins while you're going on your journey, you're growing your business, and hopefully we're a part of making that better for you. But as we get to the end of the life cycle now, we're going to help you in what does an exit look like? How do you actually sell a business correctly? How much can you actually get for it? Is it just selling you want to do? Is it investment? Do you want to grow? Do you want to legacy it? How do you want to do it? So this is a session that we thought we'll definitely have a drink for this. It's Friday Arvo. We need to have a knock-off. And we want everyone engaged. We really want you jumping in with some questions here. We've got some absolute experts here to discuss what we've got. So immediately, hang on, I'll just Carly, my boss, who you've heard, she'll kill me. I've got to put my glasses on because otherwise I'm doing pirate eye the whole time. So bear with me. Just so you know too, the event staff and my wonderful colleagues from America in particular are really quite nervous now that I'm up here. They're like, we've given Justin a microphone, great, and he's having a beer. We've just given a gun to a monkey, awesome. So we're going to do our best. So hence why I want you all jumping in as often as possible to take the heat off me if we could. All right, so just to make sure I've got everything correct, we've got Mark Stephan, CFO from Remax Doors. He's got a great story about how they approach investing in trade businesses, what they want to look for. We've got Amy Carnrick, who works with Simpro, who has an incredible story about growing, scaling a business, and then what that exit strategy looked like. Jakub, I'm not going to have a go at the last name. Jakub dared me to do it. I'm not going to do it. So we've got Jakub Grzelak. That'll do. You happy with that? Yep, good. So he's with a firm called Straight Bat Private Equity. I love the name, Straight Bat. They're right near the MCG, all of that, so that's great. But they specialise in trade and field service businesses, in investing them from a private equity point of view. So I imagine a lot of you may not have even considered that private equity or anything like that is something, but what it will mean for you is significant and could be life-changing. So what I'll do, I'll throw to Mark. If you could just give us a really quick roundup, because we want to get into this, we want to get into the really juicy stuff. Quick roundup about sort of who you are and how you view investment, and we can then get into the questions from there.
Yeah, so I'm CFO of Remax Doors, and I suppose we look at acquisitions mainly for the people. So we're after more technicians. So I'm eager here to hear from you guys, what technicians you've got available and what that value is to you of giving us that ability to leverage those in the Simpro environment.
Amy?
And it's Carnrick. So anyway, as you heard from me earlier, I bought and sold a plumbing construction company, but what I didn't say was I've actually bought and sold 3 different companies in 3 different industries. So, and each time I've learned something more and gotten bigger and better. And so I'm eager to share that with you so that you don't make some of the same mistakes that I did. So,
over to you, Jakub.
Hi everyone, my name's Jakub, and I actually work with a private equity fund called Straight Bat. Yeah, we love our cricketing puns as well. Private equity is a really diverse world. You have some private equity shops that will buy an asset, buy a business, which is a fantastic opportunity for a lot of business owners, with the view of selling them in 7 years' time. Straight Bat is very different to that. So we will actually buy a business with the view of holding it forever, for 80 years. Why do we do that? We love the idea of preserving legacy. So a lot of businesses here today will be family owned, maybe first generation, second generation. And we love the idea of partnering with families and bringing on a capital partner to support the next phase of your businesses.
Fantastic. Amy, we'll throw to you straight away. What was the starting point for you? Because I imagine that there might be a few people here who are considering it at some point or even considering it now. But what's the trigger point for you where you go, okay, I'm positioned to sell? What was the moment that just the light bulb for you? Yeah.
Me?
You.
Okay, all right, I couldn't tell here. It was I got sick from working so hard. I got cancer. And so you always have to start with the end in mind, but that's certainly not the end that I had planned. You have to have plans A, B, and C. But I knew after having done this twice before, you never know what's going to happen. So the final time I bought this business, I knew that there was an outside chance that I would sell. So I started from the beginning, having my affairs in order all the way along. So it turned out to work really well for me, and I'm all fine now, by the way. But because then when I decided to sell, I was ready. And so there wasn't a whole lot of work, because selling a business is a lot of work. And so it really was one of the easiest businesses I had ever sold because I was prepared.
Right. It's funny, I left the trades too because I had industrial illness and fatigue. That's my boss saying he was sick and tired of me. So, on that note, I imagine there might be a few people who are going, I'm not prepared. I haven't been preparing from day one. So, Jakub, you might want to jump in and just say, what are the steps you might want to take to start the situation now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think one of the things that I find the most similar to your point, Amy, a lot of people will start a business because either their boss is sick and tired of them, they woke up too many times in the morning and said, I'm not going to work for a boss anymore, I want to be my own boss. Or they had someone that gave them a really cool opportunity, whether it's a customer or an investor, and someone said, go have a crack at a new business. And something that I've found in my role, getting to speak with a lot of founders, and one thing that I actually missed is we actually have sort of trade businesses in our portfolio at the moment. So we're heavily invested in construction and trade services at the moment. But as I speak with a lot of founders and business owners, they haven't even thought about the idea of selling. I get to sit with them in the room for the first time with a sort of a corporate advisor or an accountant, and it's the first time that they even are willing, sort of seeing the opportunity of, oh crap, I actually can get potentially millions of dollars for my business, and I just thought I had 3 vehicles. And yeah, so in terms of how to get started, I'm not getting any fees for this, so I'm not a corporate advisor or anything, but if your local accountant is usually someone that's first that you will talk to, but there are other firms, sort of corporate advisory firms, that specialise in what does an exit look like for a business, especially ones that might be specialise in a specific industry too, that might be able to give you the lay of the land on who are the potential buyers in your market, how would we position your business, and what do you need to do internally in your business to set you up for an exit.
Okay, I'm going to come back to the point that you said about the potential value, and I thought I just owned 3 trucks, and I'll come back to it because I'll get your input as well, Amy. But I'll go to Mark because we had a discussion just before we came in about the role that technology and systems and contracts and all of that in what you look for. Can you just give us an insight to how you view that scope?
Yeah, definitely. I think we love the same infrastructure. So if you've got Simpro and the purchaser's got Simpro, it's a real good fit. We like that to begin with. We want one system. And if that can happen from day one, that really helps. But also you want to make sure that your staff are well trained on that. So if you've got documentation of what your staff are doing day in, day out, and circling back to what Fred said on day one about the heroes, the technicians, you want to make sure that they're all locked in, because that's what we're looking to buy. We're looking to buy that people. That's what financials are financials. You can look at the bank statements and get all those numbers out, but we want those people. So make sure you've locked all those staff in and make sure you've got your systems all aligned and all working.
Great. So back onto the value side of things, because I think it's important to get this crowd, a little bit excited about, understanding that the work that you're doing is leading to somewhere significant for you and potentially life-changing. So Amy, are you happy to sort of share what that exit look like as far as a broadish value?
Yes. One thing I want to say is, having done it 2 times before, I've worked with business brokers, and this time, and it kind of felt like just a friendly transaction. Oh, we like you, you like us, we're going to da-da-da. This time I thought, you know what, this is my last time. I want someone who's working for me. I don't want to share. They are only working for me. So I hired an investment banker, and that's what he did. He pitted you guys against each other and increased the price. And so you make sure that whoever you hire is working for you. And that's an important thing. And I actually had 13 offers. We could have kept going. Some of them I didn't even talk to. They just started throwing out offers. And again, we had a 29% margin, but largely that was because of Simpro. And they also did do, I'm kind of proud of this actually, but because I absolutely hate accounting. And so that was sort of my mission in this business, was like, I am going to conquer this beast. And so I did. And they do a thing called a Q&B, and so they comb through all of your books for years if you're selling to a PE. And they paid $85,000 to comb through my books for years, and they came up with a $20,000 differential, which is absolutely nothing. So I obviously conquered the
Did well.
Yeah.
Well done.
But my point is you keep your books in order, and it's just make sure that you do that. And with Simpro, it's just so easy. You can look up every job, and it's just it makes it so much easier. Numbers speak, tell the story.
So with those numbers, can you?
Oh, okay.
Do you want to get us a bit excited?
Okay, sorry. We did sell my company for a 6x multiple, which was pretty excellent for a 29%. I'm here because I want to be here, not because I have to be here. I'm here because of you guys, because I'm hoping to help other trades business owners to be as successful. But it was multiple millions of dollars. So, yeah.
Definitely worth discussing on a Friday afternoon. So,
Yeah.
Jakub, I noticed you had a little wry grin there when Amy mentioned the investment banker coming in as a bit of a consultancy. Do you want to? Well, one, from your point of view, is that what would you want to see? Say someone in the crowd. What would you want to see them working towards? And are you happy to sort of share where the multipliers go for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think in the context of private equity, every private equity fund is slightly different. So if you're selling 100% of your business, the likely answer is, how do I get the biggest bang for my buck? My experience within Straight Bet is slightly different to that. For us, because we're willing to buy 50% of a business, and that's our ideal model, we are more. The thing that's more important to us is alignment. So are we going to be able to align with that business owner? Do we really can we have a cold beer either on stage or in the pub on a Friday afternoon? For us, it's that real test of, are we willing to partner with this person? Yes, financial is important. Yes, tech is really important. But for us also is the people that we are investing in as well, and the founders that we're backing for the next 80 years. In terms of multiple, it really depends on your size of your business and who you're selling to. So if you're selling to somebody where you're still going to be involved, you're probably not going to get as big of a multiple. So 3 to 6 times is not uncommon, and it's probably very common in a small to medium-sized business where you're making maybe 5 million revenue to 20 million with about 15% margins maybe. But also there's the bigger end of the town where maybe you're making $200, $300, $400 million in revenue, where multiples could be as high as 10 or 11. So imagine making a profit number of, I don't know, $5 million. You can times that by 10 for some people, and that's 50.
Yeah.
This is getting interesting now.
Yeah. I do want to say something. We did have 13 different offers, and we stopped. We were like, we don't want to talk to anybody else. But they all looked a little bit different. So we could pick and choose what was right for us. We only sold 80%, but then we ultimately ended up selling the last 20%. but we had the 50% offers. We had, all the 100% and get out tomorrow and we'll never see you again. And so the options are endless, and you get to take charge of that and what's right for you and your situation and your business and your family.
So Mark, over to you. We're talking about, what good looks like and again, what you look for. What are some of the pitfalls that you might have seen in your experience where people are going, you were close, but you missed out on this point, or you didn't do that quite as well?
I think if you murky the waters and you have private stuff going through your commercial business, you want to get that all out. You want your bank statements to be really pristine, because everyone's going to look through those bank statements to see, okay, he declares a revenue of its vain number of 100 million, but if the bank statements are saying, I'm only seeing credits of 80 million, well, you're out of water. You lose trust. So you've got to keep your trust up. You've got to keep your bank statements very, very clean, and make sure, if there's too much a difference between that EBITDA multiple, if someone wants 3 and you want to sell for 6, just walk away. If it's 5 or 6 and 6 and 7, you can have a good discussion, but you've got to be close to start with. Just walk away. Don't waste your time, because it just doesn't work. So just make sure you got your goal, stick to it, and then that EBITDA multiple goes all the way every day to the end of that transaction. It goes up. You've got to keep that business running hard all the way to the end day, and then you luck out. You max out. So do that well.
Sure. So Amy, again, you don't come from a plumbing background.
No.
And then I'll ask you, but then throw to Jakub as well. What is it that attracted you to a trade business, that you went, this is what I want to go and throw all that I've got into? Why did you look at a trade business?
Well, my second business was a residential handyman service, and I could never get plumbers. And so when my son hated college, I said, well, you should go be a plumber. It's the best thing out there. And he actually listened to me for once. And so he became a plumber. And then I said, well, hey, why work for somebody else? Let's do this. And I can, help you guys have your own company. And the whole plan was to leave a legacy. And then, the plan changed. But that was that plan. Starting the business to sell was not the plan, but I knew that it could be the plan. It could happen. You just don't know. You can't predict the future. After COVID, after pricing escalations, after sickness, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
So, you just have to, just
ride with it.
Be ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jakub, because we're seeing it a lot in the States, it's happening more and more in the UK, and it is now obviously entering into the ANZ market. But why is it that private equity is so interested in trade and field services? I mean, COVID exposed the necessity of it, or second responders, as Fred likes to put it. But what do you see through your lens?
Yeah, I mean, in very general terms, again, private equities will focus on different industries. Why would something like a trade services business be appealing to a private equity fund? Highly fragmented, and the revenue that you have is often non-discretionary. And so, you're going to be, you've been here for 30, 40 years, you're still here today, and you'll probably be a business in 30 to 40 years from now still. I know this event's been all about AI and things like that. The truth is there are a lot of jobs out there that are going to change significantly, but it's probably going to take a while for someone that's on the tools for their job to change and the business model to change as well.
Sure. So what about, once we go through the sale and everyone's riding high, what's post-sale look like from your point of view? Like, what's the support that you offer? How are you still involved? Is it a complete lockout? What's the handover process?
Yeah, it's different for every time. For both my transactions, we had performance bonuses at the end. So, the owner got the majority of the cash straight away. So you want to make sure you got a clean exit. But there was a multiple at the end there where we said, okay, then here's 70%, take it and run. But if we achieve these targets, here's another 30%, and it's actually at a higher multiple. So it gives them that up. There's a buy-in for that. But you've got to decide what you want. If you want to be out that day, so be it. That's your multiple. But if you want a bit more, don't leave the cash on the table. Go for it.
Sure. Is that the same view from private equity?
Yeah, with 50% ownership, I mean, for us, the business owners will stay in the business. We may have like an earn-out component sometimes. We might put that into a deal. But for us, because we're still sitting side by side with the business owner, we're just now naturally sitting at the same table and sitting on the same side. Okay.
So before we go to question time, we'll go along the line here. Mark, if you could just give us one thought about whole group here, might be interested, just one thought about what an exit strategy might look like.
Cash is king. I know it's a common term, but you know that last year, prepare for it, get as much cash in the business, get your debtors right, pay your creditors, get rid of all the obsolete stock. Cash is king. Maximise that cash, maximise that EBITDA multiple, and be a happy person.
Great. Amy?
The same. I mean, I always say you can't steal twice. You can't steal from the government and then get paid. So you just don't. You know, we kept our nose clean and definitely do that. And there wasn't a whole lot to have to explain to try to get money from our sale.
Sure. Jakub?
Yeah, clean financials. It will make your life 10 times easier, 100%. The other two that I'd add is people and tech. And the degree to which you do that, again, will depend on what kind of exit you want. So if you want to be 100% out of the business, you've really got to be able to prove that you don't need to be involved in the business anymore. And you do have those leaders inside your businesses, your ops managers, your COOs, or whatever you might call it, to be able to run the business with no touch.
Great. Anything else? Any last thoughts before we go to questions? No? All good. And we are absolutely, just again, noted to the event team, bang on perfect timing. So you shouldn't be scared. And I'll just answer the first question I know is coming because I'm just seeing that photo now. I did deliberately pull my pants up that high. That was the trend at the time in the mid-90s, and I had hair at that stage. So I stand by that uniform. All right, where are the roaming mics? Have we got them ready, and have we got any questions while you've got the experts here on how you're going to exit?
Just on this side. What are you looking for? Like, we've got a business that's got a lot of customers, but we don't have any locked-in contracts. So how does that sort of play out when you're looking to sell around, expectations and how you actually analyse the longevity of that business?
All right, Mark, do you want to grab that?
Yeah, I'm looking for majors. So I'm looking for that 80-20 rule. So I'm looking that there's that 80% that's regular customers, and I can see that in the bank statement that those customers are regularly buying over the last 2 or 3 years. That really helps give you that multiple growth. So that's what I'd be looking for from my perspective.
How would you approach, like what advice could you give to say, here's what you might want to do to go and start locking some contracts in?
I'd get an NPS survey for the customers and really show that you've been talking to customers and seeing responses and repeat buys. If you can show customer sale invoices from 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, that's great that you've got longevity in that customer. So that gives us confidence to go and pay that multiple.
Sure.
I mean, if we had more service contracts, we could have 10x'd our business instead of 6x. But plumbing just there isn't a lot of service contracts, but I wish there was. But HVAC, excellent, so. But we had lots of contracts for jobs, but it's not recurring revenue, kind of. So get those service contracts.
Yeah, I completely agree. Showing some kind of stickiness of customers, like repeat customers, doesn't have to be contract-based, but repeat. The other thing that you might want to be able to show is, if you're doing plumbing or electrical just for residential homes, and mums and dads in a suburb, how are you dominating that market? Why are you the number one person in that market as opposed to anyone else is maybe something that you could think about too.
This is important. Also, I want to mention, never ever allow any one customer to be more than 20% of your business, ever.
Yeah.
No matter how great it is.
Yeah.
Can we expand on that a bit from some?
Yeah, customer diversification. I mean, imagine you, a lot of subcontractors, they'll tie 100% of their book to a specific customer, right? Construction and trade is really hard in today's society. And, day after day, you'll open up the newspaper and a builder's going to go into liquidation or someone else is going to go into liquidation. And if that's your key customer, that's where you're getting your source of revenue. Mm-hmm. That's what your business is tied to.
Okay.
Yeah. And try and get your price rises every year, a bit above inflation. If you can do that, and that's why, if you've got one customer and they don't go up with their price rise, then you get a bit caught. So you don't want to get caught there. So yeah, if you do that every year, you're doing really, really well.
Great advice. Any more questions? Oh, we've got one over here.
Thanks, guys. Just probably a three-pronged question, if that's okay. Firstly, Amy, just wanted to know if you're an Australian-based or were you American-based with the businesses that you sold. The second one, which could probably go to any of you guys, is probably more Jakub. If you're going to go 50% with the founder, what sort of strategies do you use to look after someone who's used to being the boss, who's now reporting to a board, who is looking for a return on their investment? And the last one, which is probably the most critical, is, you talk about a three-man band or a three-van company through to large companies. Ultimately, they're all dependent on those key staff. Like, we can talk AI all we want,
Agreed.
but the guy at the door or the guy who's the face of your company is the company, and he's going to guarantee whether they come back or not. How do you lock those guys in? Because they could be emotionally attached to the founder and you're losing the keys, and then you've got to fill all them gaps and try and rebuild again.
All right. So, Amy, first.
I'm out of the US, but it's similar here in Australia. The multiples we're talking about, the sizes of businesses, et cetera. So it's just as prevalent here as it is in the United States. So, and I'll just speak to that last question really quickly, but you can get employment agreements. There's so many creative ways to, when you're going to sell, you can ask that employee, look, we'll give you a percentage to stay and sign an employment agreement. My employees got a lot of money when I sold the company. I told them a year before, and that was just my philosophy. So there's many ways to get your employees to stick around. The 5 that got lots of money are still there.
So, Jakub, about the key person strategy, a founder now having to answer to someone.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard. You come in every day on your own and you're running the shop, and now all of a sudden you've got someone at the table. For us, that's why it's really important to have the alignment at the start, why you're looking to sell 50%. If we know that the reason why you're doing it is to preserve legacy and we've got really strong aligned interests, sort of gravity will work its way through and the right principles will fall where it needs to. But you know what, for a lot of businesses as well, that at least in the market that we're playing in, those businesses are ready for a new level of sophistication. A lot of businesses were probably not doing board meetings every month. So that's like an easy example of actually, we can now bring in a level of sophistication that's the right size for that business as a result of the growth that it's had.
Okay, so we're running over time. I think we've got time for one more question. You be good. And then we'll all still be outside, so feel free to come up and talk away after it there.
Yeah, my question is, my Instagram knows I'm a business owner. I'm getting flooded with all these rogue business brokers, come and do this, come and do this. I could be off the mark, but I get the impression it's a bit of a rogue industry here in Australia. Where do you start? Because I want to, put some time into my business to see where I can be better and do things better now for a sale in 3 to 4 years' time. So I guess, where do I start with a decent business broker that I can trust?
Jakub?
Yeah, it's a really hard question. I'm not in the broking industry, but what can I say is finding a real trusted advisor, someone that's got your interest in mind. Nothing against the broking industry, but they are motivated by a sale, so they'll do everything they can to get that sale. But if you can have someone maybe that's a little bit more consultative. Accounting firms can be good, corporate advisory firms can be good for that, that are sitting there that can help strategize with you what an exit could look like. And if that is something on the table, then you reach out to a broker. If I was sitting in your shoes, that's probably what I'd do.
Make sure that you interview a lot of people, and you'll learn things by just interviewing. I interviewed half a dozen, and I ended up choosing the last person that I interviewed. So I think then you're going to get a feel for it.
So, Mark, would it be fair to say with a question like that, the best place to start would be go and talk to your accountant?
Yeah, great.
And go from there?
Yeah, go to your tax accountant, the one that you trust the most. They'll give you an advice if it's in-house. You don't need to go with the top 4 firms, Pricewaterhouse or anyone like that. Just go with, and they've normally got another section in that department that can help you, but stay with someone you can trust. Mm-hmm. It's really important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Fantastic.
thanks.
All right, so we're going to have to wind it up there. Like I said, we'll all be outside there, so feel free to come up and...
I just want to say one more quick thing, because when you're interviewing the brokers, they are fighting for your business. So make sure, their price is negotiable. So keep that in mind.
You done?
Yeah.
We'll talk about this over a few minutes. All right. See, it was her, not me. All right, I'm trying to do my part. All right, that was awesome. Please, we'd love to speak more. Like we said, it's something we feel strongly about. So however we can help, that would be great. We'll wind it up here, and I believe a wonderful gent, this global CRO, is coming up to close out. I think he's a wonderful guy. He looks after his Australian staff. He really admires his Australian staff. So with that, thank you, everyone. We'll see you outside for another chat.